Hi. In recent times, there's been the Me Too movement, followed up by the Time's Up movement, which mainly focused on harassment in various workplaces. And following on from this, I think now there's a focus on the gender pay gap and understanding why it exists and eliminating it in its entirety. In the UK, in the US, and Germany, the regulators require big corporates to actually advise what their gender pay gap is, and organizations on the back of that are trying to understand from corporations what it is that they're doing to eliminate the gender pay gap. With this in mind, corporates have been analyzing the results, and the gender pay gap actually does exist. And for some corporates, they have highlighted that a significant reason why this pay gap exists is due to the fact that there are fewer women in senior positions, which are the better paying positions. And the question then becomes, why is it that there are fewer women in more senior positions? And what can be done to ensure that more women actually get there? I think one item that has come up is that when there are interviews for senior positions, the slate or the interview panel is not diverse enough, such that many women end up being overlooked. As human beings, due to certain biases we have consciously or unconsciously, it is more likely that we would hire somebody or relate to somebody who looks like us, who talks like us, who has a similar background to us. And this just doesn't apply to gender. It applies to race as well, sexual orientation. So it's not necessarily something that is deliberate in some instances, but having diverse slates would ensure that there's a more open interview process, and you're more likely to end up having more women in senior positions that way. Additionally, as corporates actually have realized that there are fewer women in senior positions, they actually need to make more concerted efforts to actually empower women. Where they see that some women or who have the potential may be lacking certain skill sets, they actually need to make efforts to ensure that they train these women and upskill these women in these areas where they feel that they might be lacking, so that they actually can excel to more senior positions. At the lower levels, honestly, there should be equal pay for equal work. I don't understand why as a male counterpart should be paid more for exactly the same work that a female counterpart is doing for the same number of hours, for the same output. So corporations really need to look at their pay policies around this, and not just for your basic work, also for your bonuses. Yes, bonuses are based on based on how people have performed their duties, but these should be easily comparable between two people who are rated the same, whether they are male or female. And lastly, I think it's important for women to take responsibility for their careers and to empower themselves and actually learn where they need to learn. It's about identifying the areas where they're lacking and actually making sure that they get the appropriate training for that area if required, and also just actually be able to speak out. I think that's the last thing that I'll be able to speak to. Be able to speak out where they feel they've not been treated fairly. I think a big thing that is important is holding our corporations accountable for treating treating women and men and everybody else as fairly as possible. I think that's my thoughts on that topic. Thank you very much.